Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is a little longer than some, so grab a snack if you want, take a deep breath, and just relax. I'm gonna go ahead and explain this piece a little bit. I'm gonna go through some of my struggles with it, but overall it's just gonna be a relaxing, chill time-lapse video. I picked some music I really like and hopefully you'll enjoy as well. So for this piece, a lot more planning went into it than a lot of the pieces I make. I had this vision in my head of what I wanted it to be, and while it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it, and I do have some issues with it, I'm overall very proud of it. I wanted a super illustrative but also witchy vibe, and I wanted the piece to feel calm but also magical. I went through probably about 20 to 30 references for this piece to design the piece I wanted and come up with the correct composition and placement of everything. I don't work in watercolors a lot, so this was my first big watercolor piece that wasn't just practice. There were definitely some challenges I ran into working with watercolors, one of the biggest being the page warping and overworking the page. I also struggled a bit with getting her face angle correct when I was working on the initial sketch of the piece. I still don't absolutely love the way I drew her face, but that's okay. I'm still learning to draw faces and I'm improving a lot with it, so this was a good learning experience for me. With each piece, I feel like I learn new things and I still want to continue to get better at it, and I think it's super important to have that strive. I've also never really painted a face in this more illustrative style before, so a lot about this piece was really a learning experience, but it ended up being one of the pieces I'm most proud of. One of the things I love about this piece is all the delicate line work around her neck for her necklaces and along her wrist for her bracelets and tattoos. I just think it's so pretty. And I think it's an especially nice contrast to the more pale background. I even slowed down some of the line work to normal speed so that you could see what that's like. Right around here, you start to be able to see an area where I overworked the page quite a bit on her arm. I ended up fixing it more and more as the piece goes on, to the point where now you can barely tell, but that was the first place where I encountered that problem on this piece. I ended up painting over it in white and then going back with color to fix it, but it was quite a problem area for a while. There's something about painting faces that is so much fun for me. I'm still learning a lot with it, so every time I do it, I feel like I'm learning something new, which I enjoy. But also, I just love all the light and shadow work that goes into painting a face, and even though it's something I'm still struggling with and learning how to do super well, I find so much joy in it, and I love the experience of it. I love so much that when you're painting a face, you can completely change the structure of the face just by the amount of shadow and light you add. Especially with the nose, where there's not a lot of defining lines, you can really change what somebody looks like just through shadow and light, and I think that's super fun and interesting to play with.
to keep it a little less serious? Am I too good for love? Oh, baby, breathe now. Roll down the window. No conversation, no conversation. Oh, feel the breeze now. Roll down the window. Don't complicate it, complicate it. No, I won't save you, but I'll show you how. Get yourself off the ground. Not gonna let you down. Yeah, we could skate all day and all night long. Oh, we're flying now. Not gonna let you down. Hey, yeah, calm down now. No, I won't save you, but I'll show you how. Get yourself off the ground. I'm not gonna let you down. Yeah, we could skate all day and all night long. Oh, we're flying now. I'm not gonna let you down. Oh, baby, breathe now. Roll down the window. No conversation, no conversation. Oh, feel the breeze now. Roll down the window. Don't complicate it, complicate it. Hey, yeah. Calm down now, calm down now. Yeah, hey, yeah. Calm down now, calm down now. Yeah.
The hair on this piece was so much fun for me to paint. I love playing with the colors of it and trying to give it new life. It also made me discover that I need some bigger watercolor brushes so I can get a more even placement of color in some places. But I love the colors I chose for her hair, and it was so fun to play with, and in my opinion it's really pretty and interesting to watch back. I also had quite a bit of trouble deciding what exactly I wanted her hair to be and how dark I wanted to go with it. I ended up going pretty dark because it just sort of flowed more naturally when it came down to it. But yeah, I mean, hair was the last thing I decided the color for in this piece, because I think I initially had a different intention for what color I wanted her hair to be. I don't remember what it was now, but I ended up painting everything else first, and then I was like, wait, what color should her hair be? And so I ended up going with this black to purple gradient that I really enjoy. Here you can start to see the struggle I had with her face. Even when I was creating the sketch, I had such an issue getting her lips to look how I wanted them, and I redrew it over and over and over again. And then when it came time to paint it, I ended up overworking the area between her top lip and her nose, and it just would not take any more color. And then, just as I thought I had fixed it, I went in to do a little blending, and the marker on her lip bled into it and around her lips, and I had to just completely shift my plans. I ended up changing the color of her lips and completely painting the area around them white. I believe I masked part of the area around her lips with a watercolor primer so that it would accept paint again. And after going through all that, it finally came to a point where I was decently happy with it, and I just had to move on. Sometimes there are things like that in a piece where you just have to keep working at it until it comes out. There was definitely a point in making this piece where I thought there was no saving it, but I did, and I'm super glad I did. I feel like there's two important lessons in this The first being that sometimes when working on a painting or anything in life really, there's just a point where it may not look that great, or you may feel like giving up, but if you can just push through, I feel like you'll almost always be happy you did. The second lesson from this is that sometimes you have to accept good enough. I kept striving for perfection with the area, and every time I would think, okay, just one more thing, I would go in to do that thing and it would backfire and end up making the problem way worse. Sometimes good enough is plenty, and walking away is the best thing you can do. Her lip area was fine before I started messing with it to try to make it better, and I ended up making the situation a lot worse for myself. So if you're ever feeling that perfectionism bug, try to just take a step back, take a deep breath in, and accept good enough instead of beating yourself up over perfectionism.